everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the Scrappy Angel podcast. I am Angel, the owner and maker behind the Scrappy Angel bags. I just wanted to say thank you to all you new and returning viewers. I really appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with me, and I hope you enjoy what I have to share with you today. I'm super excited. The last 2 weeks have been busy, actually. I've been working on getting bags out and trying to keep up with those. Got a few finished objects done. I'm still got a few works in progress. Actually, got one new knitting, and I'm still working on the quilt that was on the design wall, but we'll discuss that when we get to there. And at the end of the episode, I'm going to go ahead and do a tour of my yarn cabinet. I had a few people ask me how I go ahead and organized my yarn. So we'll do that at the end. And like I said, the last 2 weeks have been busy. It's been chilly here in Northern Virginia. We had a lot of rain the other day, and today it's beautiful. It's sunny. It is in the 50s, so I'm excited to be able to start wearing some of those sweaters that I finished. And I hope everybody is having a wonderful week. And let's get into it. As you can see, I have nothing on the long arm today. I did get the baby quilts finished, and I just haven't added a new quilt to the long arm. I think I'm going to wait to do that until after I get back from Rhinebeck, just because then I can get it loaded and I can really start thinking about how I want to quilt that next quilt. I usually leave it on for a day or two before I start thinking about how it's going to be quilted. Honestly, I stare at it for a while and it's like, okay, something come to me. So that's where I am on the long arm. But I will talk about the two finished quilts behind me. They are the two baby quilts that were on the long arm the last time. I'm going to go ahead and pull those in. I really love having this thing on wheels because it really helps to bring things into view. So as you can see, I got both baby quilts done. They do need to be bound, which I will probably do tomorrow so I can get those into the mail and they can go to their new lovely babies. So with these, what I did was, because they are baby quilts, you don't want to over quilt them. And what I mean by over quilt them is really make your quilting close together. You're really doing a lot of intricate patterns and stuff, um, because then it makes it stiff. I had a friend who liked everything very dense and very quilted, and you could pretty much stand the quilt up on its own. But with the simple design of the meander, it just makes it feel more open. And what I'll do is I'm going to pull this down. I love my little clips. And you can kind of see that some of the quilting is just very open, very loose. It's just meandering around. And what that does is that leaves it open for air to get in there. So when it washes, do you ever remember, did you have a grandma who had her quilt and it kind of puffied, there's a word for you. It kind of puffed up and it just felt all nice and squishy and cozy. That's what you want with the meander. And this is going to be washed a lot going with a baby. It's going to be on their car seat. It's going to be tummy time. It's going to be all of that fun stuff. They're going to spit up on it. They're going to roll around. They're going to drag it through the mud. They're going to do all that fun stuff, which is what you want. I mean, you're making a quilt. You want it to be loved. So I did that on both of those. That way, it really just makes it a nice, cozy, hopefully a little snuggie that they're going to want to destroy. I know my oldest had a quilt that was made for him when he was born, and it literally was in tatters by the time it was done. I had to figure out how to get it away from him. So that's what I'm hoping will happen with with the new babies. So that is the finished of the baby quilts. So now we'll move over to the design wall. So here we are at the design wall. Again, this is the Seahorse Carousel quilt, and this is by, I'm a little backwards, sorry. This is by Robin Ruth, and it is called the Seahorse Compass, I believe, right? Yes, Seahorse Carousel, sorry. And it's got the compasses here. And then we talked about these corners last time, and I said that I needed to get them done. Well, after talking with some quilty friends, I've decided that I'm not going to do those. I had all of these done, and I had done them for these sides, like it showed in the picture, and I thought it was too busy. So I was hemming and hawing and trying to get the corners done. And a few friends were like, why don't you just take the old ones and cut them? And then I started staring at the wall, the quilt, and I was like, well, what if instead of doing that, I just used them? So I laid them out, and I like to live with things for a while. So by laying them out and leaving them on the quilt for about a week, then I can determine if I like it or not. Which is a great thing about a design wall is you can leave it up, you can stare at it a while, you can kind of get a feel on if you're going to like it. If you're not going to like it, you can change things around and move it. Because sometimes you stare at something for a while and you're like, there's just something wrong. It's just not right. So that's what I did, and I'm actually loving the idea of putting these up in the four corners. One, I'm not wasting blocks that are already done, so that helps. And two, I don't have to do anything else, so that makes me very happy. There was a suggestion from my friend Chip about putting a border on, so you can see up here that I have just a little bit of a border here and then a bigger border. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the cream that's on um, the waves of the carousel, and then I'm going to bring that out, and I'm going to do one small strip border all the way around, and then I'm going to bring in that greeny chartreuse. Yeah, that's right, chartreuse, and I'm going to put that on the outside, and it just breaks it up, and it frames the quilt. And what's good about having that chartreuse is because it's here and then it's also on the seahorses. So you're layering it and you're bringing it out. Um, I'm really gonna love the way it's done. So, like I said, I'm gonna live with this for about a week, and when I get back from Rhinebeck, I'll go ahead and probably put it all together. So hopefully, in the next episode, it'll be done and it'll be on the rack, hanging up for you guys to see. Um, so that's where we are on that. So now we'll do with what's on my needles. So before I get to what's on my needles, I just want to remind everybody we are still looking for a name for this quilt. You are still eligible to be in the drawing, which will be at the end of the month. The designer will pick her favorite name, and then that person will get a free pattern. So again, just make a comment below. You have until the end of the month, and let's get a great name for this pattern. So on to works, or not works in progress, FOs. So I finished my Woolens and Nosh Falling in Love. This was her collab with Earth Tones Girl. And look how pretty those colors are. Oh my goodness, they scream fall. I am so excited to start wearing these. So I did both, and I got them as close as I possibly can because I'm that I'm that person. I like my socks to match. If they are self-striping, I want them to match. Um, I know a lot of people, they don't care. I'm very anal, I guess is what you could say. I just like mine to match. I want them to be as close as possible. So what I do with all of my vanilla self-striping socks is I do a Turkish cast on now, and I cast on the 12 stitches, so it'll be 12 on each needle, and then I go up to 64 stitches, and then I do 70 rounds for the foot. Put one of these down. So 70 rounds for the foot. I do a fish lips kiss heel, and then I do 30 rounds for the leg, and then 20 rounds for the ribbing. I do them all on a size 1 9-inch circular needles, just because I like that knitting in the round. It just seems to fly. And I wear a woman's size 9 shoe, so this absolutely fits perfectly. So those are the first socks I got done. Now I know I cast these on, and we talked about them, and I said that I was going to save them to work on at Rhinebeck. But after I was done with the Woolens and Nosh Falling in Love socks, these were already cast on, and I was like, okay, they're already done. Might as well work on them. So here they are. I am so excited. I got the fancy schmancy pumpkins done. Look at that. Oh, so now this is the self striping for fancy schmancy pumpkins, Woolens and Nosh. However, I used a contrasting toe and heel, but I don't remember the name of the yarns. I don't remember the colorways, and you would think that I would have all of that, considering that I just finished them, but unfortunately, I did not keep them. Again, Turkish cast on. Um, uh, go up to 64 stitches, 9-inch circulars, 70 rounds for the foot, fish lips kiss, 30 rounds for the leg, and 20 rounds for the cuff, which is a 2x2 rib, is what I do. Um, and again, yes, when they're cast on, you gotta work on them. So I got those 2 pairs of socks done. So I will have socks to wear. Not that I don't, but socks to wear at Rhinebeck, and they're fall, and they're just beautiful, just beautiful. So the other thing I finished was my venomous cowl. So you can see, look at that. Oh, isn't that beautiful? It turned out so nice. Now, when you block it, they have you block it like that. So that's why there's that crease down the center. But I'm just so excited. Now, side note, I do not like spiders. Spiders are not my friends. If they're outside, that's their domain. I'm perfectly happy with that. I will avoid them. If they're in my house, they're gonna die. I am deathly afraid of spiders. It is so funny. When I started getting to this and I was working on it, my husband's like, "You hate spiders. Why are you making something that you're going to wear around your neck that has spiders on it?" Well, these are the only spiders I like. See, they're fake. You can touch them. They're not going to attack you or jump at you or anything like that. But I will probably be wearing this at Rhinebeck if there is a warm day. And again, you've got to, when you go to Rhinebeck, you have to um, prepare for any season, because the last 2 years that I've been, it's been warm. You have some days where you can wear your sweater, and then by the end of the day, you're like, oh my God, I am sweating like crazy. So I have backups and all of that. So that'll be good. Now, I was talking to a friend earlier, and she was asking me about this. And I'm going to go back to the socks. And she's not a knitter. And I just thought about that. And it's like, okay, so I have quilters watching, I have knitters watching. And she's like, what is the point behind these? Are they just for show, or there's something to be done? Sock blockers um, are for both, actually. The way I use them is I don't usually block my socks. I just wear them. But for the podcast, they look so much better when you have them on a sock blocker. Now, a lot of times people will block their socks, so they'll soak them and then they'll put them on the blocker so they get the right shape of a sock. So that's what they're for. I didn't even think about it. Most of the podcasts that I watch, they just show the sock blocker, and they don't even explain it. So it's kind of one of those things that you forget that there are new people that are watching that don't know what things are for. So I hope that explains a little bit of what sock blockers are for. Again, I just use them for to show off my socks. A lot of people use them to actually form their socks and get them nice and neat and help even out the stitches. So there's that. Now, I did start a new blanket. Now, I did the anthology throw with the Woolens and Nosh, not Woolens and Nosh. I'm stuck on Michelle. Um, with the Advent, the Hocus Pocus Advent from Trilogy Yarns. But I printed out this one, which is the Habitation Throw by Curious Handmade, and I was like, well, I absolutely loved doing that anthology throw. I wonder if I'll be as obsessed with this one um, if I start this one, and I think I am. And I'm getting to a point now where I don't want to work on anything that doesn't have me absolutely, oh my God, I need to get it done. So I pulled that out and I started it. And here is the first mini. I'm not done with it quite yet. You can see, and look at it. It is so pretty. I cast this on last night, and I have a feeling I'll be working on this probably every day just to get it done. I love how it's turning out. Now, the Advent I used, or I am using, is called Sea to Shining Sea. This was a Advent last year that was done, I believe, by Indie Untangled. And you got a mini. Here, I'll show you the map. So I think this is cool. Make sure it's not upside down. So here's the map. And what it is it's designers from all over the United States. So they give you a map of where they are. So each 24 day, you opened up a new skein, and it was a skein from a different dyer. So you got to test out all kinds of dyers in one Advent, which I think was just genius. Because usually you get an Advent, it's from one dyer who you usually love, and they have all their different colors. So I was obsessed with this. I thought it was a brilliant idea, and I'm so glad that I did it. So I have them laid out. I will pop a picture in. I did the exact same thing I did with the Trilogy Yarns one. Is I laid them all out so they would fade, and then I'm just pulling them out. I've got them all in. I'll put this back in. Got them all in little Ziploc bags. You can see they're numbered. So I have numbered 1 through 10, and then I just put in the 24 as the colors went in. And then I have those in a bag, and I just pull them out, and then I'll magic knot them together and just keep going. So as of right now, that is what's on the needles. So what I'll do is now we'll look at my yarn cabinet, and I'll give you the quick rundown of how I've got all of my yarn organized, and I'll see you there. Okay, quick tour of the yarn cabinet. You've got all of my self-striping on one shelf. Then you've got all of my Yarnable, which is right here. And then these are all sock sets. I wanted to keep those together because I'm not really sure if I want to use them in a shawl or a cowl, or if I want to keep them as socks. Then we've got all of my minis. Some of these are Advents. Some of these are just the 10 20-gram mini sets that came. Then you've got my Surrey alpaca silk. Then you've got down here, you've got all of that is fingering weight yarn. Then you've got more fingering weight yarn. And then you've got sport weight, which is here. Down below, this is all my DK. Then you come up here, and then there's my worsted. You can see my DK and my worsted are really um, not as big as the rest. Then you've got my sweater quantities, which is 1, 2, 3 shelves worth. Then you've got my needles and some notions and stuff. And then, sadly, this is all empty project bags. I know, it's a shame. all those lonely bags. I'm hoping that by the end of the year, most of those will be filled because I've got lots of projects that are in the works that I want to get done. So thanks for watching the tour. Well, that's it for today, everybody. I just wanted to say thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little bit of a struggle today. I've forgotten, I think, half the stuff I wanted to say, and I fumbled through what I did say. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the yarn cabinet, and I hope you liked all the makes. I know one thing I did forget is to tell you where to find me. You can find me on Instagram as the Scrappy Angel. Ravelry, I am Asarafin, first initial, last name. And I will put the website down below along with my email. And thanks for hanging out and watching. Please like, subscribe, do all the things. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.